I don't have look. Long story short, he knows that's not true. Okay. I don't know what he had in his cup that day. Right? He knows that's not true. You know. I mean, you know, I don't have to know boxing news because I get phone calls, I get text messages. The fans love this shit. You know, some people don't think it's the greatest fight, but some people are very interested in it. So at the end of the day, if he's moving up into the welterweight division, he might not fight Thurman today, but if he's really in the welterweight division, I mean, it's Thurman versus everybody.
Well,
And Ellaby should know
how
that.
serious do you think they are about it?
Zero. Look. I did not tell you earlier. This is my mouth. You see my mouth. You see me talk out my mouth. I have not seen Tank Davis's mouth do this. I'll fuck Keith Thurman up. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to knock Keith Thurman the fuck out. Okay? I saw Leonard Ellaby make a comment on Twitter. That's what came back to me from another somebody just like you. When you come at me with questions, Thurman has answers. They said, he's getting ready for this. He's got an answer for Thurman. I was here in Vegas last night. I was bored. I watched the video. Dante Boxing. I watched your video. Where was Tank's mouth? You said his coach said this, and somebody said, where's Tank Davis at? You know what I'm saying? It's like when Danny Garcia, his daddy did all the talking. Why do you think, man, when we got to that stare down, go watch that stare down. That was the best. You want to know why it was one of the best?
Well, it was the best.
Because Danny stepped up to me, long hair Thurman, stepped up to me, right? And then I don't know what he thought. I was in middle school or some bullshit. He thought I was in middle school. This boy, I will let you hit me square up before I step back from you, boy. And that was the moment right then and there. All that trash talking from his daddy, I made you jump out your shoes, Danny. Now, see, it's different. It's different if in every face-off, this was Danny Garcia. Like all up in people's grip. Look, man, he ain't never did that. But he wanted to do it to me. Why? He wasn't scaring me. He was showing me how scared he was. You know what I mean? Look, that's why I'm saying, when other people do the talking for you, Thurman don't take it serious. And at the end of the day, I was trying to tell him that. I don't know if it was in his clip. I love Tank Davis. He's exciting. I love him as a lightweight. The moment you put anybody in the welterweight division, it's Thurman versus everybody. Why? Because Thurman makes the great fights. You know what I mean? This fight is good. It's good. Pacquiao Thurman, she already shouted out. I heard somebody, Pacquiao Thurman 2, right? They already just shouted out, right? We was trying to get UGAS earlier this year. Thurman UGAS is a great fight. Thurman Crawford is a great fight. Thurman Errol Spence is a great fight. Shit, if Thurman could fight Thurman, that would be a great fight. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Where are you with any of those fights? Anything.
Look, I don't know what's being thrown at me next, you know? But, you know, I'm here. I'm ready to get back in the ring. I hope it's something exciting. If it's just let's get Thurman back for the fans, let's get Thurman back in action, and then I have to give you something very exciting in the next quarter, you know, well, might as well say it this weekend. I would love to see Errol Spence. It was this fight right here. It was supposed to be Pac Spence. That would never manifest if I threw 15 more punches. That would have never manifested. It was never supposed to manifest. So Spence getting around that whole, I don't care about Thurman. Cool. In my head, I was like, get through Pac, do whatever you do or don't do. We got to watch it. Whatever happens, and you want that next big pay-per-view fight, Thurman's right here. When Al calls you and says, do you want to have this big pay-per-view fight? Show me you don't care no more.
And then when I come over, you're going to come talk to me. You're going to talk to me.
Plus, he's the truth.
That's right.
You know, we all want to test the truth. We all want to shoot. I want to seek the truth. You know what I mean? Y'all should know I read a lot. You know what I'm saying? I seek the truth. I love this sport. I told y'all, I'm the first fighter that always said it. I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me. My mama used to beat me. My daddy used to beat me. You know what I mean? I didn't feel like Manny PACQUIAO beat me, but he ended up defeating me. He gave me my first L. It is what it is. Y'all ain't never seen Thurman's revenge punch. Y'all never seen that revenge punch. It's coming. It's coming next. You know what I mean? Whoever they put in the ring, they're going to get the wrath of me taking an L. Real talk.
Why are you such a difficult draw for anybody in the welterweight division? What makes you feel
I've always been at the top of the sport, man, ever since the amateurs. I just know how to scrap. I know how to give people good fights. I know how to protect myself at all times, the golden rule in boxing, you know? And then when I get hit, I take it. If I get dropped, I stand up. When I get body shots, I don't go down. All right? So you can say what you want about Thurman. He's weak here. He's weak there. Cool. Show me.
And talk to me about that. Keep you.
Gotta get your take on a fight that just got made. Canelo versus Plant, man. How does
Plant?
that go?
Great, man. Great fight. Love Plant. Love what he brings into the ring. We know Canelo and whatever pork he been eating, the boy is strong. You know what I'm saying? We know he's strong, you know, and we know Plant ain't ever been with nobody that strong, you know. I think it's a great fight. You know, Canelo got a little, I didn't watch it. Some people say he got a little exposed, you know, because he got his movement now. You know, he know how to step back now. You know, it's not in a lot of Mexican fighters, you know, protocol, that nice little step back. Mayweather taught him a few things. He said, oh, I can duck. Oh, I can pull. I can take to the left. You know what I mean? And now Canelo's got a little bit of this and that. But American fighters, we've had that for a long time, Canelo. We had that for a long time. Not to say what you don't do ain't pretty. It's pretty, boy, because you was flat-footed, you was walking forward, and Floyd showed you how limited that style was, okay, with his speed and his athletic ability. No one else has done it, though. He's had great challenges. Triple G should have took him in the first rodeo. He didn't. They went to a draw, and then Canelo outperformed him. What happened, GGG? We don't know. We don't care no more. Canelo went past that. So, you know, I do think that in these divisions that there are great challenges for Canelo, and this Plant fight is a great challenge for both fighters at this point of their career.
A lot of Canelo's strengths have been heavily stated by everyone who's talked about this particular fight between Canelo and Caleb Plant. But I'd like to get your take on what are your keys to victory for Caleb Plant? What does Caleb Plant have to do to have his hand raised against Canelo Alvarez?
Just box smart, box hard. You know, I mean, I think he's capable. The thing about Canelo is he's, you know, even with that step back, he's still a pressure fighter. He's still just waiting to drop that power shot, hit you with that body shot, hit you with that uppercut. He is a legitimate power puncher. So, you know, one of the biggest keys to victory is don't get caught by that power, you know. Look, I love the matchup. I love so many matchups that are happening now. I think the sport is just coming back into almost that heyday kind of energy. Everybody knows that, you know, I think the Mayweather stuff is over. You know what I mean? Staying undefeated, you know, it's going to be more back to that MMA stuff. You win some, you lose some, you get back in the ring, and you do it again. Great champions, they fall and they rise back to the top because they show you, just like in other sports, it's any given Sunday, right? I tell people, when you watch a fight, you're watching the outcome of the preparation for that fight. And we know we ain't always prepared. You know, we ain't gonna tell you that. You know, it's fight week. You ready? You ready? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We never saying no, you know. But deep down, we know how hard the camp is. We know how many miles we ran. We know how many sit-ups we did. We knew how tough our sparring was, okay? Sometimes you underestimate a fighter. You don't bring in the toughest sparring. You don't have the greatest performance, right? Sometimes your weight, you didn't control your weight right. You don't have the greatest performance, you know? Sometimes you out clubbing way too much and you don't have the greatest performance. So, you know, I just think boxing is just going to be that. Make these boys fight each other and let's see what happens. Let's do some great rematches when the opportunities present themselves. And then besides that, when it comes to the welterweight division, there's just so many to run through. Let's run it.
When you mentioned earlier today that you were saying like it really just a matter of who you could fight anyone. But is there anyone in particular that you would want to get in the ring with
I'm so tired, girl. I don't want to be in the ring. You know I'm the realest and I'm the most honest. I'm not BSing you. I'm not beating around the bush with you.
But
This is honesty.
Just a name.
There is no name.
There is no name.
There is no name. I'd give it to you.
Speaking
there is no name.
Speaking of preparation and the resurgence of boxing, right? We've got a fight coming up next week in Cleveland, Ohio, and that's going to be you've got Tyrone Woodley versus Jake Paul. Let's get your take on that.
I knew he was going to do that.
What's the take?
What do you think? What do you think about it? What do you
purist.
think about it? You feel like you're
What do
giving
I
me
think
that
about
look,
it?
right?
What do I think about it?
Yeah. What you think about it? What's your take on it?
All right,
What's
let me
one
think.
time's take on it?
Think real hard.
Got the rock.
That's
look.
my thought.
That's the
I don't
thought.
got no thoughts about that, man. You know, it's different. It's different. What that boy does is for fight fans. What that boy does is for his YouTubers, his IG. Honestly, what that boy does is this is his way of living his dream. And salute to you on that, Jake Paul. This is your way of manifesting your dream of being a fighter, you know? And you're the most accomplished non-fighter fighter in the history. No one will ever do what you've done. I don't think it'll be repeated, right? We went through everything that Manny PACQUIAO did and what he's accomplished and everything he was able to do. I don't think that will ever be repeated again, right? And what Jake Paul and his brother and these dudes are doing with the platform entertainment, you know, maybe it can be repeated, but is it really going to be repeated? Probably not. And why? Why will it not be repeated? Because it takes a special person, even if it's not fighting the best world-class fighters, it takes a special type of person to get in this ring, man. So, you know, I don't got a lot to say about it, but I will respect that he has the cojones to try to live this lifestyle in his own way without doing it the real hard way. He has his own platform. He's utilizing it to his greatest advantage. He's making bank. Salute to you, partner.
Keith,
What do
there's
you
an
think about
obvious
the stress of
structure into
Tyron
how
Woodley?
PBC works, making a fight. There's plenty of names. We know who the names were. So what's being communicated to you on making that return to the ring? Have they laid out a plan?
I'm not talking about
Keith,
that.
you
We just
mentioned
talked
a
about
fighter getting knocked down and coming back up.
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder's fighting Fury.
Yeah.
October 9th. Break down that fight.
and then we saw him bench the thing that messed him up, right? And that just shows you, you know, I honestly, please don't put it back on. Don't show us you're strong enough to wear it and win. Drop it. You know what I mean? Keep it on the bench or something and just lift it. You know what I mean? But don't bring it into the ring. You know, at the end of the day, I think his mindset is right. I like the way I saw some pad work. I think he's developing more, trying to close the gap on the weaknesses, right? Because everybody has weaknesses, but it takes a special fighter to acknowledge their own weaknesses, go back into the camp, and then tighten up on them. You know what I mean? It's not that Deontay is going to be a perfect fighter overnight, but you can tighten up, right? You fail a test in high school, you study a little harder, you get a better grade. That's what it comes down to, and I look forward to his performance. I always love the Bronze Bomber. I've supported him his whole career, and I'm always in his corner. Red, white, and blue, America, baby. Bring that belt home.
Well, why do you say that about the training? Like, what do you see in the training? A lot of fighters tell me that they see something different in the clips that he's putting out, different from before the second.
The combinations. You know, he was a right-hand dominant, you know, fighter. I tell young fighters all the time, Winky Wright was a world champion with a jab. You know what I mean? Paulie did a lot with his jab. He also did movement, and speed was a factor, right? Some fighters have speed. Some fighters have power. Some fighters, like Tito Trinidad, I was never like really impressed with Trinidad. He was just a solid guy, you know? Kind of reminds me of Canelo, but Canelo has way more power. But, you know, Tito, I thought was very basic. Sometimes people take that basic approach to the maximum. You know what I'm saying? They take that basic approach to the max. And that's what makes them so accomplished. So it's okay to have this one dimension that's your greatest dimension, right? But what else can you bring into the ring? And we see more. Will he do more? He looks like he's trying to do more, which normally manifests more, right? And he's all into the believe it, say it, speak it, do it. You know what I mean? So do it, baby. Let's see
You
it.
talked earlier about a revenge punch. Tell me about what you think Deontay Wilder's revenge punch.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, y'all don't know. Some of y'all don't know. This, I said I gotta. Oh, I'm not afraid to let it go. Don't mean I wanted to let it go. So the revenge punch is a big thing, man. I mean, you're gonna have to work for it. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to set them up. But I think that's what he's training on. He's training on setting things up a little bit more, not just willing it like, oh, here it goes. Plus, he never fought somebody so evasive, so elusive. He's also not fought somebody who had a reach advantage over him. You know what I mean? They've been in the ring. He has enough time in the ring to make adjustments. You know what I mean? These are rematches. Rematches are on a different level. Back to the Ali days, back to the 60s and the 70s. The rematches are just a different level. I've yet to really do rematches in my career, but if I did, I'll have more experience because I understand that fighter and how they fight.
What adjustments do you think that Wilder needs to make? What adjustments do you think Wilder needs to make to be successful second go-round, third go-round?
Give the guy a little taste of his medicine. Be a little bit more elusive yourself. You know what I mean? Work on the things that you haven't worked on before to challenge your opponent. Because, like I said, if I have to fight Danny again or Sean again or anybody again, I'm gonna assume I know what's about to happen. That's what rematches make you do. They make you assume you already know this guy. So if this guy puts in the work to add dynamics, right? It's like building a house or a mansion. You do it one brick at a time. You got this technique, add this technique. Spend a few more weeks with this technique. Work on your power. Work on your speed till you're more of a total package. We will never have a total package, but tighten up and be as close to that total package that you can be.
Keith, I know you've been at 147 for a lot of your career. You unifying the belts. How do you feel about moving to 154 and possibly contending for the belts at 154?
I mean, it's not on my automatic to-do list at this time of my career. I know I can still make 147. The welterweight division is just way too packed. This is my dream division. I see that for later on in my career, maybe 3 years down the line when maybe I've done all that I can do at 147. I don't feel like I've done all that I can do. I haven't gotten my revenge yet back into 147. There's champions, undefeated champions that haven't been in the ring with Keith Thurman yet. And there's just too much to do at 147.
You talked about rematches. How interested are you in rematches with guys that you fought before? Danny Garcia, guys like Sean Porter. How interested are you in rematches?
Word is Danny wanted to move up. I heard the comment when he first made the comment that he would rematch me at 54. I don't know what the purpose of that is because they would probably make it a title eliminator. Then I would be stuck fighting for a world title. Then what do I do? Can I be like Floyd or other fighters in the past who's held two at one time? It's just a lot to think about. I ain't really trying to think about it like that. But I'm always open to rematches. Like I said, I won them. You know what I mean? I wanted this rematch. Maybe I should have pushed a lot harder verbally to try to make this rematch happen. But at the end of the day, it just is what it is.
How do you feel about your name being mentioned with young guns? Like you got Boots Ennis that guys have spoken about coming up to fight you as a step-up fight, or guys like Virgil Ortiz who just had a scintillating victory over Kazlauskas the other night. What do you think about fights like that?
Just because they're fully not on my radar yet, but all it takes is that real phone call. Hey, Keith, would you fight this guy, this guy, this guy, right? Maybe it's less. Maybe it's this guy or this guy. But until I hear people's names in real negotiations, they're just out there. They're just out there, and for all the young guys coming up, I fought, how many fighters did they put me in with? Ex-world champions when I wanted the real champions. I fought veteran after veteran after veteran after foreigner, and and Latin fighter. The first fight I got that I wanted was Robert the Ghost Guerrero, you know? And he wasn't like at the top of my list. He just was in the list. And I was grateful to finally get a fighter who was doing something. And I really enjoyed sharing a common opponent with Floyd Mayweather, because that never happened in my career till that moment, so that people could look at a Mayweather performance against Guerrero, look at Thurman's performance against Guerrero, and now we can kind of start doing that little compare game like they always did whenever Pacquiao fought Oscar, when Pacquiao fought, you know, Mosley and X, Y, and Z.
Speaking of your fight with Robert Ghost Guerrero and looking at the way that PBC has kind of moved along, what does it feel like with you and Robert Ghost Guerrero being the first main event for PBC? What does it feel like for you to watch PBC flourish out the way it has?
I mean, it's beautiful, man. You know, I love everything that I've been able to do for PBC. That fight there was just so monumental for me. It was my first headliner in this arena. You know, I mean, it meant a lot. I still remember to this day Guerrero's fans loud as hell, Bay Area, throughout that arena, you know, and it was a little funny to me because I'm also from a Bay Area, Tampa Bay area, you know what I mean? So I knew it was his fans, because that's not how we do it down in Florida, you know what I mean? That's not how we really do our Bay like that. We just call it the Bay, you know, so at the end of the day, it's just a lot of memories, man. And a lot of gratitude. I always love being in this casino because I got to have that fight for PBC. You know, the ratings were well. I got so many props for the performance. I got so many fans. I had the hematoma. I showed my toughness. Showed that I could fight through adversity. And it was just beautiful.
And you know, and lastly, man, I want to talk to you. I'm so happy to get a chance to speak to you in regards to adversity. I'm glad that you brought that up. We watched you hurt badly to the body by Josecito Lopez. We watched you get knocked down by Manny.
Josecito Lopez hit me in the face.
That's right.
There
Check that right.
We
Collazo lands a big body shot. Yep. Josecito Lopez had you a little bit in trouble with the headshot. You went down versus Manny, but the one thing that always happens one time always gets up. Talk to me about that.
We get up, we fight back. I mean, that's what fighters do. When I look at a boxing match, you know, of course I know how to take it round by round. But outside of round by round,